What's going on, everybody? needforbeans over here, bringing you another Fortnite video. In this video, I'll be going over my favorite settings for Fortnite if you have an AMD graphics card and you're playing on PC. These settings will pretty much allow you to have the most performance, the least input lag, and the least ping. As you can see here, I'm capped at 165 FPS, and that is my average FPS, so it's maxed out. My ping is actually extremely low and great performance. So without wasting time, let's get right to it. The first thing you want to do, update your AMD drivers. When you do, you should be able to download Radeon software. This is the brand new one, 2020. Looks like this. First thing you go to your settings and go to system and go ahead and do a factory reset, because if you have tweaked some of the settings, you just want to start fresh. Next, go to graphics, and here you can choose any profile you want. It doesn't matter because it will change to custom once we start tweaking this. So these are the settings here. Anti-lag pretty much reduces lag. Chill conserves power, we want that off. Image sharpening, turn it on to 100%. This will allow you, the Radeon software, to actually improve the textures and visual detail of Fortnite, even though Fortnite will have textures and everything on low. So that really helps performance and still makes it look great. Enhanced sync, this is like VSync, disable that, off. Go to advanced settings, crossfire, make sure to disable crossfire, because I tried making Fortnite work with crossfire enabled and it was complete hell. It was flickering all over the place. There wasn't even a performance boost, so make sure to turn it off. Fortnite just doesn't support crossfire. Frame pacing, go ahead and enable that. That just improves smoothness. Anti-aliasing, use application settings, because we'll turn it off through Fortnite. Disabled. Anisotropic filter, disable that. Texture filter quality, go for performance. Surface format optimization enabled. Isolation mode, override and take that off. Okay, override application settings and take the isolation mode off. So that will ensure performance over looks, but it's still, the image sharpening will pretty much the image sharpening will offset these performance settings. Turbo buffering, disable that. Reset shader cache, don't worry about that. Now for a display, you wanna if FreeSync is enabled, go ahead and turn it on. For my display is not supported, so it's really not a big deal. Virtual super resolution, disable that. GPU scaling, disable that. GPU scaling is just the resolution stuff. So this is how it should look. HDMI link assurance, turn that on, but leave it at 0. Color depth 8 bpc. Pixel format, make sure to change it to RGB, full RGB. It'll make the game look a whole lot better. Custom color enabled, this doesn't really matter. Okay, next we're gonna go to general, and here this is just I'll leave that for the end, because this is how I'm recording actually the game right now. 1080p 60 fps, that's how I'm recording this video as well. So sorry, before we go to general, let's go to video. I'm sorry, nothing here. So it's just graphics, system graphics and display. In general, I'll leave that for the end. So the next thing you want to do is go to gaming and go to Fortnite. If you don't have Fortnite, just search for Fortnite. You can find it here, just games, Fortnite. I favorited it, so it'll be right here. Go to your Fortnite game. Graphics profile should be set to custom, the one you just set in these settings. So everything else should kind of fall in place. Anti-lag on, chill. These are all the same settings we have. I'll just let you guys take a look at it, so we can copy those. Okay. Now tessellation mode, we did it at 0 over there, but honestly it doesn't really matter too much. I'll put it at 8x. It could be back off, but I left it at 8x. But honestly, that doesn't really matter. If you're getting a little bit of performance lag, you can turn it off, but for me it made 0 difference. The last thing is, FreeSync was disabled in these settings, but here it's available. So if you have FreeSync available, you definitely want to make sure to turn that on, or just leave it as AMD optimized. Scaling mode and custom color, center and disabled. So now let me just go and show you guys how Fortnite looks with all these settings. Doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look too bad. I mean, it's not the greatest, right? But it still has all these colors. So it's really not too bad, and it's extremely smooth. You can see I'm 165 frames. Consistent. I'm not dropping that. That's actually better than I've ever had before I did any of these settings. So now let me show you guys the settings for actual Fortnite itself, the graphics settings. So I'm doing window full screen. Some people say full screen is better. Honestly, it doesn't really make too much of a difference for me. Frame rate limit. Now I limited my frames at 165 because honestly 160 or 165, it doesn't really matter. But if you go any higher, 180, 200, 240, that is completely unnecessary. Even if you're on a controller, aim assist doesn't even really make too much of a difference past 140 frames. So I feel like for me, 165 frames, that is more than enough. There's no reason for me to increase it. You can try increasing it to 180, 200, 240, but just make sure you don't leave it as unlimited. Make sure you at least cap it somewhere. Other than that, brightness. So these are my settings here. 3D resolution 100%, view distance epic, everything else off, low, low. Post processing epic, VSync off, motion blur off, show FPS, DirectX 11, multi-thread on, GPU crash debugging on. So that is the settings for Fortnite. Now the last thing I want to show you guys is the settings for recording. I haven't been streaming from this, but I have been recording videos. So you go to general, go to the gear icon, go to general. So here's just the save location, very basic stuff. So instant replay, that is, you can enable it. It will pretty much automatically keep recording the last 45 seconds of your game. So let's say you had a great kill, you can go ahead and use a hotkey. Hotkey is right here. I think it's Control Shift S, save instant replay, and will automatically save the last 45 seconds, whatever you wanted to save it. So you also enabled instant GIF, but that doesn't really matter too much. In-game replay, that's just convenience. So you can play the clip while you're still in game. Doesn't really matter. These are record desktop. That's just so I can make this video right now. Again, doesn't really matter. Doesn't affect performance at all. This is where the cool stuff is. You wanna record at 60 FPS. Recording resolution in game. So the in-game resolution is 1920 1080, so it's gonna record 1080 60 FPS. Video encoding type, that's the only option I have, AVC, so leave it like that. Now video bit rate, you can tweak it around, but I found 50 megabits is kind of a good balance, because if you go 100, the 45 seconds you record is gonna be huge. It's gonna be like, I don't know, 500 megabytes just for 45 seconds, because even at 50 megabits it is at 281 megabytes. So audio bitrate doesn't really matter, and everything else is like this. So if you guys have any questions about this, please let me know. I will make more videos like this in the future, and keep a lookout for some really high quality Fortnite videos. Need for Beans out. Peace.